Detectorist here on another metal detecting adventure. What a beautiful evening! There are a lot of you that are going to think I'm absolutely crazy right now. It's 8 o'clock on Sunday, the night of the England final, the Euros final, which is kicking off around about now. I can catch up on the Euros final when it gets dark. I've actually still got my bikini on from the beach. I've literally just driven back from Dorset, ancient Dorset. Gosh, it's so beautiful there. I'm back on this amazing new field where I found those cool lead objects, the gaming token or farm token, depending which way you want to play it, and that amazing big button that looks like a kind of medieval, I think it's probably medieval, maybe a cloak fastener, or maybe for a satchel, leather satchel. I had lots of good input from you guys on that. The bells are ringing 8 o'clock. That means the game is kicking off now. The ground's really dry. It's cracked. It's going to be quite hard to dig. And I can hear lots of mixed signals in here, which I think is probably the can slaw that I found last time I was here. I know there's a lot of history here. It's a medieval village, literally probably 2 minutes walk down the hill. There will certainly have been a lot of people walking around here with coins. Unfortunately, coins sound like can slaw. Oh, it's actually not as bad as I thought to dig. I can see it already, I think. It looks awfully like can slaw. Yep. Sadly, already, that's what I can see. I mean, I can't give up after one piece of can slaw. Let me keep going for a bit longer. I figure if someone scores, I'm going to hear it. I'm going to hear the whole village cheering. You'll probably hear it before me because I've got my headphones on. Thought I heard a cheer, but it wasn't. Just a tomback button. Nothing mega, but it does show that people were moving here. Probably at least 200 years ago. Hey, what's that? I'm hoping this is what you might call a field find. Oh, wow! Oh, that is just beautiful. It's a stopper for an old bottle. It's a really nice one. Unfortunately, it's got a tiny chip. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, look, there's marks on it. What does it say? Brook. Oh, I can't quite tell, but I think it says brook. That's lovely. What a lovely thing to find just lying on the surface. I can hear a lot of iron here and a lot of trash. Trashy kind of signals. The farmer did warn me that this field is full of metal, and he said that he has a special machine that can tell him where there is metal. But he's really doing that to see where the contamination is in the ground. And so he was able to say that there is a lot of trash in this field. Yeah, I think. Well, well, I think it's a musket ball that struck something. It's a strange shape and it's got a little kind of, I don't know, a little kind of eye on it. Yeah, I think that's a musket ball. It's definitely made of lead. Oh shit. Okay, so I've lost my remote somewhere in this field. I just lost my remote. If I lose that bit, I can't detect at all. And it sounded like everything was fine because I could still hear through my headphones, and the remote was picking up that there was something in the ground, but obviously from the coil. The coil is telling it there's something in the ground. I could be 50 metres away from the remote. Luckily, I picked that up before I got too far. Well, this gave a dreadful signal. And I'm still not 100% sure what it is, but it does look quite interesting. Well, it's got some markings on it, some lines. I feel like it might be bronze. And it's got a shape which would suggest perhaps it was part of a vessel of some kind. A pot, perhaps a cooking pot, something like that. Oh, is that edge scalloped? Yeah, I think it is. We're rapidly losing the light here. And I haven't yet heard any cheers. Might just check the score. Well, apparently it's a goalless draw at the moment, 40 minutes in, so I think I made the right choice coming out here, to be honest. You can see a glider. What a lovely evening for it. Signal. Oh, okay, that's a coin. I thought that was a button. That is a coin. Not a button, as I first thought. I would love to be able to tell you that my eyes are good enough to see what that is in this half light, but sadly it's not the case. So I think I'm going to have to take that one home, give it a rinse and come back to you on that. Right, I've got fear of missing out. Seriously, I'm going to have to go back in and watch the second half. I've only found a couple of buttons, I found a coin, I found a couple of bits of lead, but for now, I think I'm going to head in. I wanted to show you, now I'm back in my studio, all the things that I found and tell you a little bit more about that interesting bottle stopper, because it turns out it has actually got quite an interesting history. So here we are, the fruits of my probably hour and a half of labours. Not much really in the way of metal stuff. I'm a bit confused about what this could be. I still think it might be part of a bronze vessel, but I'm not 100% sure. A little musket ball, a couple of buttons, and a coin which I can't quite make out what that is, but I think it might be actually quite an old coin. It's a milled coin, but it's got a really quite a raised head for the monarch. Let's talk about this, because this is actually really quite cool. So this is a aqua glass bottle stopper. I collect a lot of sea glass, and normally the kind of sea glass I find is kind of sea worn and washed like this. So to find a piece with its branding still kind of visible, it's really cool. And it meant that I could go off on a bit of a research mission to find out a bit more about this maker. So basically this would once have had cork all around the outside of this part of the stopper. And that would mean when you put it inside the neck of the bottle, it would have a tight fit and would keep whatever was inside fresh. This has come from a maker called Holbrook & Co. And these started to be produced in the 1860s. Originally in the 1860s they made vinegar, And then they kind of diversified into pickles and sauces. The maker of these bottles and the products that went inside them was called Thompson, Berry and Company. And they employed a guy called Holbrook, and he brought with him his bottle. And they kind of appropriated it as their own. And then it turned into a bit of an argument because about 20 years later in 1888, so this is all Victorian times, Holbrook left the company and said, you can't keep using my name on your bottles, but unfortunately they did, and he lost his case. So the bottles continued to be made with Holbrook. It became quite a well-known brand of sauces and pickles. I think it still exists in Australia, so you might recognise that name. We know that from old maps that there are footpaths running through the field where I'm detecting. So I don't know really, how do these things get in the middle of fields? I'd be interested to know your ideas. Thank you for checking in, and hopefully I'll be back out in the fields very soon.